In the grand and often cacophonous orchestra of human history, certain melodies rise above the noise, resonating across generations with a timeless truth. One such melody is the music of the Beatles, a four-part harmony that defined a generation and continues to echo in the hearts of millions. Another, far more ancient, is the quiet wisdom of Lao Tzu, the legendary Chinese philosopher whose teachings on the Tao, or the Way, offer a path to inner peace and effortless living. On the surface, the rock and roll maelstrom of the Fab Four and the serene philosophy of a 6th century BC sage could not seem more disparate. Yet, within the chords of their songs and the stories of their lives, the Beatles embarked on a profound journey that mirrored the very essence of Lao Tzu's teachings, the art of letting go. The story of the Beatles is one of unprecedented ascent. From the cramped clubs of Liverpool to the screaming stadiums of the world, they were propelled by a relentless creative energy. Their early music was a testament to youthful exuberance, a celebration of love found and fun to be had. But as their fame reached stratospheric heights, the pressure mounted. The world wanted more, always more. It was in this crucible of fame and expectation that the first whispers of a different path began to emerge. A path that led not to more, but to less. At the heart of Lao Tzu's philosophy, as outlined in the seminal text, the Tao Te Ching, lies the concept of Wu Wei. This is often translated as non-action or effortless action. It doesn't mean passivity, but rather acting in harmony with the natural flow of things, like water that effortlessly finds its way around obstacles. It is the cessation of struggle, the release of the need to control. For the Beatles, a band that had meticulously crafted its image and sound, the journey towards Wu Wei would be a gradual and often turbulent one. A pivotal turning point came in 1968 when the Beatles traveled to Rishikesh, India, to study transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. This retreat, intended as a spiritual respite from the chaos of their lives, became a creative incubator. Stripped of the elaborate studio technology that had defined albums like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, they were left with acoustic guitars and their own introspection. The result was the sprawling, eclectic, and deeply personal double album, The Beatles, more famously known as the White Album. The stark, minimalist cover of the White Album was a visual representation of this shift. In contrast to the psychedelic riot of Sgt. Pepper's, the plain white sleeve was a blank canvas, an invitation to look beyond the external and into the essence. The music itself was a tapestry of different styles, reflecting the individual creative voices of the four members, finally breaking free from the unified Beatles sound. Songs like Paul McCartney's Blackbird, with its gentle melody and message of hope, and John Lennon's Julia, a tender and dreamlike tribute to his late mother, showcased a newfound simplicity and vulnerability. This was a letting go of the grandiose and an embracing of the authentic. No Beatle embodied the spirit of Eastern philosophy more overtly than George Harrison. His journey into Indian music and spirituality began years before the Rishikesh trip, but it was there that his understanding deepened. Harrison's quest for spiritual enlightenment was a lifelong pursuit, a search for something more profound than the material success that surrounded him. He found a kindred spirit in the teachings of Lao Tzu, so much so that he directly incorporated them into his music. The B-side to Lady Madonna, a song called The Inner Light, is a direct musical interpretation of a passage from the Tao Te Ching. A Sanskrit scholar named Juan Mascaro had sent Harrison a copy of his translation of the text, suggesting he set some of it to music. The lyrics of The Inner Light almost perfectly mirror chapter 47 of the Tao Te Ching. Without going out of my door, I can know all things on earth. Without looking out of my window, I can know the ways of heaven. This was a profound statement from a man who had traveled the world, only to discover that true knowledge comes from within. It was a perfect encapsulation of the Taoist idea of finding the universe within oneself. Harrison had let go of the need for external validation and was now pointing the way for others to do the same. John Lennon's journey of letting go was a more tumultuous and public affair. Haunted by childhood trauma, including the abandonment by his parents, Lennon spent years building a wall of wit and cynicism around his fragile heart. The breakup of the Beatles and his intense relationship with Yoko Ono cracked this facade wide open. In 1970, John and Yoko underwent primal scream therapy with Arthur Janov. This controversial therapy encouraged patients to confront their repressed childhood pain by screaming it out. The result of this intense period of self-excavation was Lennon's first solo album, John Lennon Plastic Ono Band. It is a raw, unflinching, and deeply personal work, an auditory exorcism of his demons. In the song Mother, Lennon's voice cracks with raw anguish as he screams, "Mama, don't go, Daddy, come home," a gut-wrenching plea from the abandoned child within. The album was a brutal act of letting go of the witty, sarcastic John of the Beatles, letting go of the myths he had built around himself, and letting go of the pain that had defined so much of his life. In the closing track, God, Lennon systematically dismantles all the idols of his past, including the Beatles themselves, singing, "I don't believe in Beatles, I just believe in me, Yoko and me, and that's reality." It was a powerful declaration of self-reliance, a testament to the Taoist principle of finding one's own way. For Paul McCartney, the end of the Beatles was the death of a dream. He had been the driving force behind the band in its later years, the one who tried to hold it all together. The breakup left him heartbroken and adrift. His first solo album, McCartney, was a homespun affair, a stark contrast to the polished productions of his former band. In songs like Maybe I'm Amazed, he expresses both his love for his wife Linda, who helped him through this difficult period, and the bewilderment of his new reality. His journey of letting go was not one of primal screams or overt spiritual declarations, but a quieter, more gradual process of acceptance. The formation of his band Wings was a crucial step in this process. It was a conscious decision to move forward, to not be defined by his past. The very act of starting a new band, of being a beginner again after being on top of the world, was an exercise in humility and letting go of ego. In 1975, he would release a song titled, fittingly, Letting Go, a track that, while ostensibly about a romantic relationship, can also be seen as a reflection on his own journey of releasing his grip on the past and embracing the present. Ringo Starr, the steady heartbeat of the Beatles, also had his own battles with letting go. The years following the band's split were a blur of alcohol and drug abuse for the drummer. He has spoken openly about how those years are largely gone from his memory, a period where he was not treating himself or others with respect. His moment of letting go came when he and his wife, Barbara Bach, entered rehab. It was a profound act of surrender, an admission that he could not control his addiction on his own. Since getting sober, Ringo has become a vocal advocate for peace and love. His annual Peace and Love birthday celebrations a testament to his newfound serenity. His journey is a powerful example of letting go of destructive habits and embracing a life of clarity and purpose. It mirrors the Taoist emphasis on simplicity and finding inner harmony. The Beatles, in their own unique ways, all embarked on a journey that led them to the same fundamental truth that Lao Tzu had articulated centuries before. True freedom lies in letting go. They let go of their public personas, of their past traumas, of their attachments to success, and even to each other. In doing so, they not only found their own individual paths, but also created music that continues to inspire and uplift. Their story is a powerful reminder that the process of letting go is not about giving up, but about making space for something new to emerge. It's about trusting the flow of life, even when it leads to unexpected and challenging places. The Beatles' music, born from both the heights of their fame and the depths of their personal struggles, serves as a timeless soundtrack to this universal human journey. It is a story-driven motivation, a testament to the fact that sometimes the most profound act of creation begins with the simple yet courageous act of letting go. And in that release, as the Beatles and Lao Tzu both teach us, we can find a harmony that transcends time and touches the eternal.